Shares of Harley Davidson down more than 4% today, second worst performer on the S&P, after President Trump came out in support of a boycott against the company, tweeting yesterday, many Harley Davidson owners plan to boycott the company if manufacturing moves overseas. Great. Most other companies are coming in our direction, including Harley competitors. A really bad move. U.S. will soon have a level playing field or better.
This is the latest in the dispute between President Trump and Harley over tariffs on steel. And joining us now, Republican Congressman Jim Renacci. He's also a former owner of a Harley dealership, and there he is.
Apparently rides around the Capitol.
And he joins us now. Congressman, very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Congressman, what's your take as to which of these two outcomes is more likely, that customers will depart from buying Harley bikes, or that those same customers will not vote for President Trump in the upcoming midterms?
Well, look, I'm a big believer that Harley is an iconic brand. As you know, I'm an enthusiast, I'm a rider. But at the same time, we have some unfair trade deals where Harley is not able to sell its motorcycles overseas. And it's one of the reasons why it's not about the tariffs, the reason why they're moving production overseas. It's to get around not about the tariffs that President Trump has put out. It's about the tariffs that the other countries have on a motorcycle that's produced here and sold overseas. So I understand why Harley Davidson's doing it, but I also understand what the president is saying at the same time was we have to make sure we can keep that iconic brand here. So in the end, I think voters are happy with the direction we're going. I know that here in Ohio, as I'm running for Senate, people are talking about, you know what, the economy's growing, we got to keep moving this economy forward. They're happy with it. They're a little uncomfortable with tariffs, but at the same time, they're comfortable with the president making sure that he's negotiating in the best interest. And remember, this president has said, I'd like to eliminate tariffs on both sides. We would, people here in Ohio, manufacturers and employees, we'd love probably to see that because we have the best manufacturing here in Ohio and some of the best employees who'd be able to compete worldwide.
So do you support the president endorsing a boycott of Harley Davidson?
Well, look, I support the president's policies of moving forward. In the end, people will make that decision on their own as to whether they boycott or not. I wish I had more time to ride my Harley, then I could make a better decision as to whether I was going to boycott it or not. But
okay, I'll rephrase. Would you buy a Harley Davidson if it were not made in this country? And by the way, Harley Davidson says that its motorcycles that are sold in this country are going to be made in this country. But if they do move production overseas, would you boycott?
Well, no, because here again, we have motorcycles being produced here in this country, and it's a good production. The problem is they can't compete overseas. That's why I say this is an issue about a business making decisions to go overseas long before the president ever started about talking about tariffs, because they needed to be able to compete against the tariffs that are being charged when they sell a bike overseas. So in the end, Harley's making a decision in the best interest of Harley and the shareholders.
So, Congressman, tidy up for us what the president should have said that would have been an accurate criticism of who's in the wrong here. What did he get wrong in his tweet?
Well, look, I think the president's frustrated, like most people here in America, where people are moving overseas. They're moving their businesses. But I think what he's trying to say is, right now, we have a great economy here. The economy is growing at 4.1%. Businesses are reinvesting in America. Harley, please increase your business here, and we're going to fix these tariffs long run. I think that's what he would really like to do, and he's going to continue to do that. That's why, in the end, this is not about what the president said. This is about making sure that we continue to negotiate a fair, not only a free trade system, but a fair trade system as well.
How much pain do you think the manufacturers in your home state and my home state of Ohio are willing to take as a result of the tariffs, which are hurting? Our tariffs, the tariffs that are being put on us for retaliatory reasons. I mean, all of those exports that go to China certainly are going to hurt manufacturers in this country. How much pain are they going to take and still support the president's policies?
Well, remember, the trade war didn't start here. The tariff war started with China. China and some of these other countries that are charging unfair tariffs when we send goods over there. So in the end, there will be a little pain. But as I travel the state of Ohio, and I talk to the Ohio worker, as I talk to the Ohio business, they understand what the president's trying to do. They understand that he's trying to make it better in the long run, and they're trying to give him the opportunity to negotiate to make it better for Ohio jobs and Ohio manufacturers.
Congressman, overall, when you see how some companies have reacted in the most recent set of earnings or their announcements, do you think some of them are pushing through, whether it's moves in production or price increases, under the cover of what the president is doing and using him as an excuse to hit consumers rather than take the heat themselves?
Well, I think there's a little bit of both. I know companies are trying to build and grow and make sure they're continuing to employ people. At the same time, when costs go up, they have to be able to make sure that they can pay those bills, but they also have to be competitive. So look, I was a businessman for almost 30 years, 3 decades. I do understand the business model. I understand when your costs go up, sometimes you can absorb some of that, sometimes you can't. I think right now, a lot of companies, as I travel Ohio, they're concerned about the past. They're concerned about the past administrations not doing anything to fix these tariffs and some of this trade war that wasn't started by us. So they're willing to give this president some time. They'd rather continue forward than go backwards.